I started the Distortion Festival as a kind of hobby 10 years ago, and 2 years ago it was too big to be a hobby. Around 2008 we had to create an organization and get a team. Since 2008, the past 1.5 years, we've been working with the commune of Copenhagen and the police, and we've had a lot of collaborators on street level. And basically the concept of the festival is a celebration of Copenhagen on all levels. And many people think Distortion is maybe a music festival, but it's not. It's a celebration. It's most of all, I would say, a social celebration of the small groups in Copenhagen that create energy in the form of music, arts, fashion, whatever. But what we do is we catch the people. I mean, we are mainly the central organization, catching the new energies that are being created in Copenhagen, specialized on youth culture. And that means that, the streets and the urban space has been really one of the core central points in the evolution of Copenhagen the past few years. What we do is we have 88 events over a week, and each event is a specific collaboration with one social segment of Copenhagen. And it can be a gallery which has its own clique and its own environment. It can be a club, like more regular, like Rost or Vega. But we don't try to collaborate with venues. We try to collaborate more with people who are involved with a venue. And the shops, we work with a lot of shops, and we choose specifically the shops which have a kind of crowd and atmosphere of their own. And it can really be anything. I mean, there is no limit to what we want to work with. So of course the club kids and the fashion magazine kind of segment, all these people, they're there and they're directly associated. But really we try to go in all directions of Copenhagen. And so then that's the one side is the celebration of Copenhagen, and then the other side is energy and authenticity. And that is my personal kind of focus, is to create these atmospheres with intense energy based on what those different people have as their typical energy. So it's 88 events over 5 days, and every year I have 1 or 2 or 3 projects that are kind of a little bit on my own, and this one, for example, is called the 1 Minute Rave, and it's a celebration of the bridge when it's open. I don't know how long you have lived here and how much you know Copenhagen, but whenever the bridge is up, it's a moment of poetry when you bike and you stop, and and I thought this was the perfect backdrop to make a kind of both poetic but also techno, and so maybe I can show a little video. Well, maybe a short video. But that's a kind of energy that is typical Distortion, where we leave the bridge, we arrive with 2 buses, this is one of them, and the main stage was actually next to the photographer. And then we had an opera singer singing there while the bridge was coming up, and when the bridge is up, DJ, were you there? I can show another kind of thing that I was proud of. Well, that was the installation. There was a big dinner under the bridge before this 1 Minute Rave. This is the biggest submarine built by one man on Earth, like a private owned submarine. It's a crazy guy who lives. He actually built this right here, on Holmen, like on Berlin. The specific picture I wanted to show. Okay, this was a kind of very beautiful picture, snapshot of just when the bridge was coming down again. That's just a skateboarder and the ring of fire, but that's in the street in Stubisveld. So that's, I like a lot this picture because it's like kind of, yeah, funny. This is in the Cathedral of Copenhagen. And there's a guy in the corner there who put the live signal from the priest and who distorted it live so that the priest was making his ceremony, traditional, you know, giving a blessing to distortion. I mean, he adapted it a little bit, but it was like kind of religious. And this is the Cathedral of Copenhagen. What is very unique there is that this is probably the only place on earth where you can borrow the cathedral to make a kind of weird experimental thing, because you know people in Italy or in France, you can't borrow a cathedral and make electronic sound installation. And so that to me is very, very significant. This was the opening ceremony in 2007. Very unique for Copenhagen. And the bridge is also very unique for Copenhagen because this is made in collaboration with the police. Like we called the police and we said, we're going to do this, and how can you help us? And they said, you can arrange it. I mean, we've been working with the police for several years, so they know us. And they just said, we trust you, and you can do this better than us. So you just block the traffic 2 minutes before, blah, blah, blah. And that is absolutely unique. This is not possible in Stockholm or in New York or anywhere on earth that a festival like us can just invade the public space like this, and the police says, we trust you, you just do it, go ahead. And so I always have, I don't know how many of you are Danish or not, but I'm kind of mostly French. And to me it's quite unique like that's, I love to point out the exceptional aspects of Copenhagen as a city and what is possible here and not possible anywhere else. That's just street art with me out here, but maybe architects think it's fun. So basically that's it, and we do after parties, which are quite. This is a Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, from a party that started Saturday night. So of course it's hardcore, but this guy has a broken arm. But it's just to say that if you think you party hard, those guys party harder. Yeah, well, I mean, then there's a lot of regular clubbing, you know, stuff. But that's a pillow battle on the dance floor. So basically, we use spaces and we use a lot of the streets. We try to not use any nightclubs anymore because we've become snobs of locations, and we think nightclubs are boring. So even though we're like a 90% clubbing festival,